Hello. Is this thing live?
It is. Wow, that effect was pretty. My off-screen dance was pretty
That was
effective on the
that was
Zoom.
amazing. Like I said, one of these days we're gonna screen record this and we'll
Then they
have
could get to see why we're all
the
sweating by the time
outtake.
it starts.
Well, hello, junkies. For those of you who have joined so far, looks like we've got about five online
Five.
so far. Five so far.
Everyone's getting all their. I don't know. Not everyone's a teacher though.
Go out and collect those discounts. Yes, Kirk, we are talking about you driving around the Lake County area, visiting every Antioch pizza.
Now they're going to put his
you
picture
can.
up for it. Do not give
Yes.
this man pizza.
He's already had 8 slices. Stop it. So, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday evening. Usually we do 7. Sometimes we do 8. We just did right in the half. This time we said, let's do 7:30.
And it's
For me.
2 weeks into operation, so it's usually when we jump on and share our thoughts. We like to give some grace. If we had gone by just the first weekend, I don't think that's very fair.
Now, if we would have went after the first day that night, that really would have been unfair.
Where are we? 3 in or 2 in?
We're
Are we 3 in now?
3.
Oh, we are 3 in. Yeah, so we're a little late.
It happens.
It
happens.
We did have a rainy one the second week too, right? We had an early close. So that was kind of a throwaway weekend. We're 3. Wow.
Okay. Gary's confirming 3 for us if we're having problems with our math.
Space-time continuum is hard.
And for those who showed up on week 2 on that Friday when the park was closed, guess what? Park is now going to be open on Fridays.
Yeah. It like kind of adds a day each week because I think next week is so we have Friday this week and then we have like a Thursday next week.
Right. Then I think we go daily after that.
Yeah, and the calendar has this Friday. I think it's a little early, isn't it? I'm trying to load it right now. Of course.
Yeah, it's not. They're only open till 6.
Got it. Which that might be a good segue right into Sarah's chart.
Oh, my chart. And then, of course, I noticed a lot of restaurants were left open longer, a little bit longer, at least on Saturday, which was nice because some of us almost missed the dinner window with all the Raging Bull excitement.
Well, and then some of us were missing out on Starbucks at the end of the night because by the time we walked over there, it was closed.
But they closed that one early?
I think there was a little miscommunication that's kind of been cleared up now. So from our understanding, Bourbon Street itself, in terms of the food, will close an hour before the park closes.
Oh, that's new.
Starbucks will remain open.
That's very new. Okay, that's good to know.
That when we were there, that's what we were told. They were serving dessert at the end.
Oh, baked goods that they're going to have to throw away anyway. That makes sense. Okay. So the kitchen will close. Yes. All right. So I don't know what we're going with.
Know where to go. Should we start with
there she is.
Rides. There's the cat. Except mine is not allowed in my office area during streams because she will take the whole thing off air. Luckily, hopefully, if that ever happened, I think if Brunt's connected, since he admins, I think we might be okay. But I don't want to test it. I don't want to find out.
Yeah. You don't want to leave it all in my hands because I could booger it up.
All right. So why don't we just start with dining? And the first thing I do want to bring up, even before we get into dining, into changes, the one thing that everyone kind of needs to understand is not only did the park go through a bunch of changes to start the season off, and obviously we got to give them a little grace, get used to the changes, but from a guest perspective, we have to change as well, and we have to adapt to the new policies, procedures. mean, something scanning a bottle. I know there's a lot of hate for that, but you know what? It's the Cedar Point way of doing things. And a lot of people out there were asking for Cedar Point or Cedar Fair. Well, guess what? You've got Cedar Fair.
They're the
and
ones
everything that
complaining
comes
the
with it.
loudest. And you know, scanning the bottle isn't that big of a deal because last season we were scanning passes, and the season before, if you were a member, you had to scan your membership anyway. So it's actually much easier to just throw the cup up there. I mean, there's going to be new stuff. There's new every year, and I don't even think that this year there's more new than there has been in the past. It's very typical.
Yeah, it's if you've been into a few of the locations such as Yukon, Steelworks, and Strutters, you probably notice a big difference. If you have not been there, it is now a go. Yes, we recommend going because those are going to be some of the shortest lines that you are going to encounter.
I mean,
go ahead, sir.
On Band Geek Day, and I can say that, because a lot of those kids come with vouchers. They were all in the food court. They were all in anything you could walk up to, and it was so busy. And then I walked into Steelworks, and it's just like no line. You just breeze right through.
Yeah, and for those who have not been there, it's basically now I hate the term, but it's cafeteria style where you're walking up, they're going to give you whatever it is that you are ordering, and you proceed down the way. They'll scan your bottle, they'll scan your pass if you're redeeming your meal, and then you can get to the drink machines, which are now gated. So you do have to go through the line to get to the drink refill machines. If you're filling your purple cup with water, they're not going to scan it. But if for soda, it does need to be scanned, and they're not going to allow you to use any bottle other than a 2025 drink bottle to fill up at any of the refill locations.
And I will have to say it's nice. There's a lot more flexibility as far as the menu in those locations, because basically you get a main and a side, and there are more than one side option for those locations. So it's no longer like, I know we had some give or take with it where it might be a side salad or or breadsticks or garlic knots. But now like they have a cold area, they have hot sides, and so there's a lot of flexibility, including some mac and cheese that the one at Strutters tastes a lot like Panera, except it's cold.
If you're going to mention cold, since I'm kind of hanging on that a little bit, I wrote what I thought was a nice review and an honest review of Yukon. I went in there and experienced some of the food and wrote it up. And there was one comment I made, I think, that wasn't, resoundingly positive, which was, hey, I think this really needed salt on these potatoes. And we can go into the specifics later. But the thing that I didn't mention in that review was the temperature wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell the first day. We went through Strutters. I happened to be walking with Brent, and Strutters just opened. So it was an easy, especially on day one when the lines were long, it was easy to jump in. And I couldn't figure out, because I was waiting a little longer just to get pictures that day, if it was the weight that made the mac and cheese cold. So I gave a little grace on that. But then the other people reported the cold too.
Yeah, that became the theme.
Yeah, both the times we've been in Yukon, the food's been kind of lukewarm.
Yeah. It does look beautiful along the line. So they have it in nice little serving bowls for the most part. It does look or in the actual pans. So, I mean, it looks like food that's been prepared. It looks like real food. And not like things didn't before, but I don't think there's enough heat on it, or it's sitting too long. I'm not sure.
Or maybe it's just kind of an artifact of the checkout process. But I swear I've been through this format in other places and kind of still sat down and felt this is hot or at least very warm. My
Yeah.
brisket wasn't that warm.
I mean, the first day I waited a little longer, but it wasn't that long for it to be as cold as it was.
Yeah.
But I do think that the process makes sense. I don't think I ran into anyone not having, I guess the only catch is if somebody goes through it and doesn't have the right payment or doesn't have a meal plan, but I don't think I observed that at any point. I'm sure it's happened.
I'm sure it's happening.
I'm sure with the
Both times we've been in there. Both times we've been in there, there's been like nobody in there, no line. It's just not been.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that,
No,
you know,
everyone's
staying
together.
there for a while either. Who knows? But
One thing that's a little glitchy, and I know I'm not the first person to say it, is that when you go to get your drinks, you've got this plate of food, and there's nowhere to put your food when you're getting your drink. It's not like you can put your food down and go and get your drink. So that's a little tricky without having any kind of tray or any kind of like extension to the counter where the drinks are. It's a really difficult to manage. And I think if I had more than one meal, like if my kids were younger and I was grabbing for them, that'd be really difficult. So I think there's room for improvement in that, at least in that process of how specifically a parent or someone who's grabbing more than one meal can do that and do the drinks, because you can't go back through.
Well, it did appear that some of the drink machines were pushed back a little bit further, so you do have some room, a little more room to kind of sit down.
like,
But
I
again,
put
it's
mine
multi meals.
Yeah, that first day when Sarah alludes to us being instructors, that first day the tray was flush with the edge of the countertop, and I was kind of hosed because at this point, before Bob's amazing lid discovery, you have to two-hand the thing. So now I've got my strutters thing here in my arm, and there's literally nowhere. Now I'm like, I'm going to put it on the drain tray. No, that was dumb. Now it's sticky and back on my arm. Yeah, it was a mess. They slid it back, but I think they need a board or some sort of.
Yeah, because when I went to Steelworks, I put it down, and then somebody just reached right over and started getting their drink. And you don't want people reaching over your food.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want so it's a little awkward. I don't know the solution to it other than maybe going with I don't know. You can't really go with a tray. I don't know the solution.
Redneck Brent would just go and get a piece of board or shelving that's just a bit longer and just put the whole darn machine on it so it could protrude from the front. But that's me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So some of the sides, let's see. Do they ever make a decision on strutters on the cornbread muffin? The first day on the menu it said includes entree, side, and cornbread muffin, and then they're like, "Oh, we changed our mind. We're not going to give cornbread if you have a sandwich because you already have bread." I don't know. I haven't been back in there to see if they've changed the sign, but I know they haven't been giving cornbread with the sandwich. But they did have that mac and cheese, and hopefully yours will be warm. They had side salad, fruit, and fries at Strutters for the sides, correct? I think I got them all.
That sounds right.
And then Yukon, the sides, we're looking at baked beans, mac and cheese, smashed potatoes. Is salad an option there or no?
The salad, I believe, was one of the options.
And do they have fruit there?
And
I didn't see fruit when I went in there.
I didn't see the fruit, but was the cobbler a side or was that just a dessert?
Cobbler can
I think
count
they have
as
potato salad there too.
Oh yeah, potato salad. Oh yeah, and then cobbler. So cobbler can count as a side, and the cobbler is different. There's different desserts that I've seen in and out, which is kind of fun. And then Steelworks, you're looking at breadsticks
or salad.
Caesar salad, when you have to know that the salad at that location, they've pre-mixed the dressing. So it's not a side salad with dressing. It's pre-mixed. They're very generous with the dressing, and that matters to some people, good or bad. So, but it's a very good size. So they had Caesar salad, breadsticks, and then is the dessert an option there for a side? Whatever that. I saw cheesecake there. I saw.
Didn't someone say, yeah, some strawberry or brownie strawberry mousse thing is what Kirk is saying here.
Yeah.
Dirt pudding, tiramisu.
Yeah, there's
cupcakes.
dirt pudding. I just don't know if you can count that as a side or if that's a snack. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing about those 3 locations. If you are looking to use a snack credit, check out those desserts display cases because they seem to have rotating items in there.
Yeah. So those are the new. I don't know how to describe. It's almost like we now have like our quick walk up stands. Then we have Windy City, which you're sitting down and you're receiving your meal, and then these other 3 are kind of in between.
And I think Kirk's referring to the desserts.
Mhm.
Okay.
But
So
he followed that up too with that's just what he was told.
And any of this can change, especially if something's not on. I know Bob posted the PDF that's online. That never includes everything because things can change in and out. Those are the things that are like for sure for the season. But there are so many. I mean, we're talking about a lot of things right now that aren't on the snack menu or aren't on their side menu or aren't even on the dinner menu. But those things can change. We can have limited items come on, items can come off, but the ones on that menu are kind of the tried and true. And we did keep our turkey legs. We're not the only ones.
We did.
We are. Others did not keep those.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we did lose some things off menus. You know, I know the nachos. The nachos are a big thing, but as I said in my post, they are coming back. They're just not coming back to Windy City.
And Windy City, since they took them off, has been kind of it's not been a huge wait. It seems much easier for them to get either the wings or the burgers out a lot faster without those nachos.
Yeah, there was too much customization with the nachos. One person would only want these 3 ingredients. The other person wanted everything.
Yeah.
Another person just wanted chips, cheese. So
if you do want chips in the white queso, that does remain a snack at Macho Nacho. It's not in the snack, but chips and salsa, that's a snack, and chips in the white queso. So if you don't like the other cheese that's on at the snack stands and you like that white queso, you can get those as a snack at Macho Nacho. Macho Nacho didn't change their portions significantly, correct?
no, that looked about the same portion size as last time. And you know, the plus side now, the Macho Nacho, is you can get the nachos or you can get the burrito bowl.
Yeah.
Only difference is it's nachos versus rice. So it's kind of, you know, which option do you want?
Yeah, that asada bowl was plenty tasty. That was good.
As far as, let's see, Windy City, we ate there. I don't notice, other than the nachos not being in there, I thought that was delicious. I had wings one day. I will say the Thrill Burger that I've had was superior to the one I had at Windy City. The one I had at Windy City was so dry. And the one at Thrill Burger, as Hector wrote up, it's like, I don't know how to. It's kind of
it's basically it's a burger.
It's a burger
with cheese, or
but it's
they
really
can make it without cheese.
I've heard so many complaints though with the, like Hector said, sitting in the foil packet, the bun being so mushy.
It steams it though. I don't mind the mushy bun.
See, I ordered it on Sunday. I enjoyed it. I definitely ordered it again. And what the other thing that brings me to Thrill Burger is you can get onion rings as a side if you don't want the fries.
They were really good. Way better than Johnny Rockets.
Yeah, love the onion rings.
I mean, you can do fruit too, but you know, onion rings are kind of superior.
Just don't. Yeah, you have onion rings.
You have to put them on your burger to offset the fact that they don't have other toppings.
You could do that.
Good idea, Jamie. Good idea.
I wish
that
they had options for cheese because I don't like cheddar cheese on my burgers. I like provolone or Swiss or.
Oh, that's not cheddar.
The park used to have pepper jack in the park, and I used to be able to substitute for pepper jack.
That's nice.
I think it's just to expedite the process. It's here it is.
Yeah.
This is what's on it.
It's fast, but again, all those, especially if we have now shifted into field trip season. So if you're keeping track, we have shifted, and you're going to hear a lot of people talking about all the kids and all the high schoolers. They are going to be at that food court. That's just where they know to order. Pizza Orleans, they know to order, and they'll be in the Starbucks. So go away from them. Go to the other places where they think that it's a little more complicated. But when they've got to get when they're full of teenagers with meal vouchers, they've got to get that food out.
Now, last year and in the last few years, Thrill Burger has always been a little bit of a moment of excitement because you either had people coming toward the exit to pick up a mobile or coming toward the exit to refill a drink while people were still feeding through the regular queue and kind of colliding. And then, it was cats and dogs living together, just pure chaos. Is that over now? Is that what we're kind of hearing?
Bob, what can you review for us what the mobile order options will be?
Yeah, it is going to be very limited in terms of what locations are going to have mobile ordering. So we're looking at Johnny Rockets North, Antone's, Funnel Cake Foundry, Fiesta Fries, Pizza Orleans, and Bourbon Street Cafe are going to be your locations that have mobile order.
And so for those Funnel Cake or Johnny
Rockets North is Mardi Gras or County Fair?
Mardi Gras. County Fair is south.
So they took out all the collision points. They took out the Chopsticks mobile order disaster and the Thrill Burger mobile order collisions and all that.
Bob, do you have some news about Chopsticks?
I do. I have some news about Chopsticks, and that it's going to be an example. The one I'm going to actually pull up is Primo's, but to sort of offset losing
not mobile order.
Right. It's not mobile order. I'm going to hold this up. You're going to be able to scan to order, and then your pickup at the pickup window.
I just scanned it.
So you're going to see this coming to quite a few locations. I don't have the complete list right now. I know obviously Chopsticks, and I just showed you Primo's, but there will be locations, and this is coming soon. So if you're walking in the park on Friday or Saturday and you're expecting to see it, too soon. It is coming.
So is that for dining plans or just for paid? For both?
Both, yeah. Brent was toying around with this before we went on air. There's actually an option to toggle on your dining plan, but there's
so it does
connect.
It is connecting to your app. It is opening in your app.
Yep.
It was opening in the app, but then it asked me to enter my pass number and phone, and I didn't want to necessarily corrupt their database yet. Otherwise, I'd have a bottle of water waiting for me to pick up.
Well, then, so that's nice. So it might be somewhat like the photos and the Flash Pass, where you're going to you can copy your pass from the app, but you're going to another hosted site. That'll be kind of cool. And it's, in a sense, then each of us becomes the cashier, so we can bypass that cashier point and they can just make the food.
In having it on a QR like that, I think it might simplify. If they're posting that out at the front of the restaurant, you've simplified people not having to know how to get into the app and dig into dining and find that restaurant and then realize, oh no, I'm in Hurricane Harbor, even though I'm not. The whole thing. So if they truly start to use this,
you can pull that. If it's just a sign that hangs like the times, you can pull it in times where you need to stop. You need to slow down your orders into the kitchen too.
Is there going to be someone there with a register to scan to refill your soda?
That I don't know yet. I don't know if you're going to have if there'll be a refill option in the app.
But they have the county fair. They had the food court refill station open.
Right. The refill
already.
station was open, and we should in the next few weeks start seeing the other locations open as well in terms of
What if I
refill.
was at Pizza Orleans? Let's just say, for example.
Yeah, it's a good question. I have to find out.
I bet they could do that at pickup. Like if you just hold your drinks at pickup, I'm sure they could scan the barcode right there and get you your drinks at a smaller.
That deviates the purpose of the shorter line and the.
Well, they did that for me at Bourbon Street, though. I did a mobile order the first weekend at Bourbon Street, and I wanted a refill. And when I came up to the window, I picked up, and then I said, "Can I also have a refill?" And she did the refill right there at the pickup. So it didn't. They had somebody. The cashier was standing there anyway. She just handed it over to the refill guy after she scanned it. That could be part of how they selected which are doing which.
Right.
And Thrill Burger, it's done. Some of them they're done at pickup anyway. It's no problem to scan it.
Right. I don't know if Thrill Burger is going to come on this, but
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Thrill Burger has the gate now. You can't come in the opposite way. You have to go through the actual line. So I don't know if we're going to see Thrill Burger.
But then they've got that the refill station there.
Right there in the food court. Then you just walk over to.
Yeah.
On the topic of processes, really quick, Bob, do you know if there's any way, or is there any hope of there being a way of seeing how much time we have until our next meal in the app?
I know I was asked that question by the park if we can see it, and the answer right now is no. So
yeah, the answer is no.
I know they'd love to have that in there.
Only if you go into do a dummy mobile order, then you can see.
Oh, it's good to know the data's there, but they need to bring that up front and make it a little more present, because then, you and I will sit there and do that and tap and check if I've managed to forget when I ordered my last meal, which is,
well, the other thing, they are not playing with the times on the 4 hours, because if you walk up literally 2 seconds before, it will not let your order process.
And the other problem is any of the retail registers, they do not seem to be able to differentiate between a 90-minute legacy plan and a 4-hour season plan. So I ran into that where I went to just, do the last grab and go. Like I think my daughter was getting a bag of peach rings or something, and we were within 4 hours, but well past our 90 minutes. And they were like, no, you have to wait. And the retail registers make everyone wait 4 hours. I don't know if that's going to continue to be a thing, if that's a known programming issue, or if that's just how it has to be on that system, but they can't override it or check that out.
Yeah, big 512 here with the big brain answer.
Or even just snapping a picture of your receipt, because it'll have the time on there. That helps too.
I love that. Just, hey, digital assistant of choice, set timer for 4 hours.
Yeah. 4 hours is tricky. That's really tricky. So yeah, that's why I did make that time thing to give everyone enough time. I just assumed like some restaurants will close 2 hours, but some will stay open a little longer. That way if you're really trying to get your 2 meals, if you follow that time guideline, you will get to it. It is almost impossible on a 6 o'clock close, which is on Friday. But it's a challenge we all can accept.
It's a little tough sometimes too. Well, Sarah, we were together. I think we had Kirk with us, and we were running around trying to find our last meal. And we are coming out of Southwest, going by Windy City, and you're like, well, that's still open, and maybe it should or maybe it shouldn't be. We all kind of wanted Strutters, but at that point, you're like, do I risk it? Do I go there, find out that's closed, come back, find out this is closed? Without knowing that time, that is one of those moments where you're just a little dodgy, and we almost
yeah, and it almost feels like back. So if you are new-ish here, I know we've moved from a 3-hour to 4-hour window for most dining passes. Some of us are on a 90-minute window, but not too many years ago, we were on a set meal window.
Here's
So
your
if
lunch.
you
Start, stop.
So yeah, it was 11:30 to 3:30 was the only time that you could redeem your lunch. And what was it, 4:30 to 7:30 or 8? Was it 8? 7, something
It
around
was
that.
somewhere in
The
there.
only time you could redeem your dinner. Well, what happened was, oh my goodness, it's 3:15. I better use my lunch. That time, like at between 3 and 3:30, and then right before 4:30, you would see just a whole bunch of pass holders standing outside just waiting till 4:30 and then just whoosh. That's
That
it's
and you'd get in
almost
line at 3:15 and be in line past 3:30.
yeah. It's almost like we're back essentially into a window that's
Yeah.
similar on some of these shorter days. So it does take some strategy.
In order to get 2 meals, you must eat within this hour and a half and then get your other meal in this 45 minutes. They've effectively forced the medium windows again.
Yeah.
And the comments of how that works for Rockford, it's almost impossible unless you eat the minute you walk in the door with their 5 o'clock close.
Oh. And they're 11 o'clock open.
You will eat now.
The restaurants are open when you walk in the door.
Yeah. Well, and then what that does is maybe if you're using it at Rockford, you're thinking of a meal and then you're grabbing you're downgrading to a snack on the way out. I don't yeah. It's not everybody needs to use both meals every time. It's just a little bit of it's a strategy now. Do we have any questions about dining? I mean, we've gone through, I think my pluses, and I think we can go around. My pluses are the flexibility in how you can match your entrees and the sides. My minuses.
Hey, do we know? Lou's is opening again this year, right?
Yeah, it'll be open
Okay.
later on
Okay.
this season.
I guess I hadn't really asked, and I was curious. I thought it was.
Oh,
But
yeah. Somebody's going to ask that.
We're coming back.
My minus is we need to season our food.
I
and
think
have it
that's
at the
probably a
proper
minus
temperature.
of all of us on this team, and probably at least half of our
Like
people
my
watching this
lasagna was
stream right now.
good, but I had to put a whole thing of crushed pepper on it to liven it up.
Oh yeah, and it was the same thing with the pasta as well. I had that pasta dish, and you seen like even veggies in there. There was no flavor. That thing had absolutely no flavor to it.
I know someone that brings, the medicine container where it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She has that in her bag and has different seasonings in every single thing. And she's been doing that for years.
I'll bring a big thing of slap ya mama. And it'll make everything better.
Well, if anybody ever
I swear.
If you ever need salt or pepper, if you know who my parents are, track them down. My mom's got a huge Ziploc bag that she carries with her with salt and pepper packets. So if you ever need more seasoning, yeah, not the shaker. She's just loaded up on the packets. I think she has her
I
own
was thinking she had
cutlery as well.
Granular, a little bag full of some kind of white granular.
No, she's coming, yeah, with the pepper grinder.
Yeah, so we're hoping
yeah,
that improves, and as those kind of options improved. Any other comments about dining? We've been on dining for a while.
We have been.
Get his food truck?
And for those who don't know, too, I mean, the park did hire an executive chef that they brought in for the season. So some of the things that you've seen, some changes, those are his changes. But we need more flavor.
Season your food.
Or put cheese on the pizza. I know that Espen had
we didn't talk about the pizza.
a sauce pizza.
Yeah. Well, I think when are they putting the pizza together in house now with a fresh
The
dough?
dough, yes, it's like a fresh dough that's being done in house. And right now, you're still going to see the variety of the pizza, the two crust, the one from last year, because they still have inventory on it. So they're using kind of going through that, but eventually will all be that real thin crust that you're seeing it.
So some of it is just a consistency of who's prepared it. They're just learning
Yep.
the right ratio. I think that could use a little oregano too.
It could. Or a little package of Parmesan cheese or something. Just add
Oh
some
no, we're
more
not
flavor.
saying spicy, just seasoned.
Flavor.
Like they used to just put Lowry's on everything, and I think that's not around. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Season your food.
Last call on dining if anyone's got any.
Because I know we have some
questions.
big changes on the ride side too, especially with accessibility.
Mm.
All right. I guess we'll move on to the rides. And before anybody puts it in the chat, the opening date for Wrath of Rakshasa has not been announced yet. Okay. What they told us at the construction tour, early summer.
And early summer has a very wide window of interpretation. So that gives a lot of time there. I mean, we'll know when we know.
There's been a lot of concrete laid recently.
It's been running a lot.
It has been.
I know where I want to sit.
I'm assuming on that one it's probably going to be assigned seating for opening.
Right.
You'll have a group up there telling you where to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first big news is that a lot of the heights were adjusted. So that was good news for a lot of our junior junkies. We had some height adjustments.
Some of it was not good news. We have a junior junkie who can no longer ride Demon when it opens back up.
Did Demon go up to 48?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. So some up and some down. I know a lot of people we always think of like Wizard Demon together, and we go to the next tier. You've got what they used to be like Viper and Dark Knight. That's not a thing anymore. You really have to look at all of the new heights.
Yeah, I mean Gary has a point here. Going back Wrath real quick. I mean it's on their schedule, so I know they're hoping, but again, there's no guarantee that it's going to be there. But I know they probably really like to have it open.
No deja vu.
Hope for sooner, but that would be my guarantee. Would be Father's Day weekend.
For as much as that ACE convention costs, I sure hope those people get it.
My goodness.
Yeah, cheap. It's cheap to sign up for your ACE membership, but to attend the events, there's
Karen, I love your comment. Karen said it will be open when it's ready and safe.
Ready and safe. I love that.
That's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, somebody said when in Cedar Point had a ride open, it was definitely assigned seats. Yeah, this one, because you only are seating 21 in a train, that there's not time to pick and choose.
No, and I have a feeling on some of the other coasters we're going to see groupers this year, because Brent and I rode Goliath on a not so busy day. The attendant in the station felt it was a busy day and went into this whole great spiel that I wanted to applaud him for on why he's grouping, and it is what it is. Basically, he basically said, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are making row requests. You're going to be put here where you're put. And then I requested 13.
And then one of us, there's 12 rows on Goliath. If you're not familiar with it, asked to be seated in row 13.
Sorry. It had to be done after the lecture. It had to be done.
Well, at Max First, they had a grouper too. They were
Yeah,
assigning.
there's always I've
Yeah,
seen the group up
That's
there
really
as well.
nice.
Yeah, an empty seat is a missed opportunity and more waiting. So I'm happy to see them trying to get the rides used efficiently.
I just want to make as long as they're moving. I love when they move and just try to get the trains out, and when they don't, and they're running one train.
And what I don't love is being, like being number 5 in a Raging Bull, which is a 4-ride coaster, and then seeing them go 2 and then 2.
Yeah,
I hate that.
yeah. So there also was a big change, not to anyone, probably not a big change to anyone who's been on the Cedar Fair side, but the attraction accessibility pass procedures changed, and I think somebody else who's used it, maybe Jamie can talk more to the difference, because there are a couple different procedures now for it.
I've only been opening day so far. Unfortunately, due to spring sports, I don't have much time. But when I went opening day, we were pre-authorized, and they gave us a pass that had 10 minutes in between rides. And that is no longer the option. I'm hearing that there are 2 options. The ride operators assign your time for your next ride, or there is the stand alone, where there's people in your party that are able to stand in the line, they stand in the line, they call you when they are close to the front, and then you will go up through the exit and present your pass and tell them that your party is about to board.
Okay. So I guess
And there seems to be a little bit of inconsistency with it too, because when we came weekend 1 and retrieved one of our passes, we were given the one that you have to wait in line. Somebody in your group waits in line, and then you meet them at the exit. And then on weekend 2 and 3, we were given a different one for the same person. So I don't know that there's a specific designation on anything.
so, but
And they're
what?
not using a computer to look anything up.
Your information, and we've got the little card that says that that's been approved. So I don't know if there's any kind of designation on that little virtual card that tells which side you're supposed to be on.
So it sounds like no matter what, though, you're still going to end up, if you have somebody waiting, or if the ride operator is assigning like almost time for time, like how long the wait is till you, like if you waited, the wait, like if you went on a ride and the wait for that ride was like 45 minutes, then the ride operator gives you 45 minutes for your next ride. So it's going to balance out. So you're not
Yeah.
saving time. It's not like before, when some people were sometimes saving time and sometimes the other way. It's still
Yeah.
it's going to work out the same no matter what.
Yeah, it'll vary from ride to ride. The wait time will vary from ride to ride depending on the wait time of the one you're using it at.
So you're almost like
yeah.
borrowing time in between. Like, so if I had a quick one that was like 15 minutes, but then I go to my next ride and it was a longer one, I'm still going to give that back till I ride the next one, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So, and back in the day, it didn't count for like small rides.
Mhm.
So if you went on Raging Bull and they said it was 90 minutes, you have to wait 90 minutes to, let's say, ride Fiddler's Fling?
Yeah. Well, I think so, because you're giving back the time.
Yeah.
Because the point of the pass is to give an accessible
Wait
way
time.
to board the ride. So if you can't wait, or if you can't make it through stairs, whatever it is, it's just to make it accessible, but it's not to cut down on the time necessarily. So I think that balances everything out. It's not that you're losing time going on a smaller ride. You're just kind of giving back the time that you saved. Like if you came from Lobster to Raging Bull, that would be such a short wait. Then you're the bull weight you're giving back for your next ride. And that, I think that's Gary saying it. The time they assign you is supposed to be the wait time of the ride before you can ride the next one. Yeah. So it's like borrowing. You have to give it back. I had another question because I noticed something. I just observed something. Does there continue to be a limit to the number of people who can use, like they used to have a limit of 4 in the party, or is that limit gone? Is it now just your party now that you have to wait in line?
It has 1 through 4.
The option of like wait time between ride pass goes up to 4 on the paperwork. So we're assuming we have not used it for that amount, but we are assuming that it would go up to 4. And then the other one, of course, it's only for you. So your whole party of 20 can wait in line for you, and call you. But yeah, we not really sure how the backside of that works.
Oh, okay. Well, that totally makes sense because everyone's waiting. Okay. Everyone's waiting in line anyway. It's just for
Not
you
what
to
we observed.
No, but then they ended up turning it was a very large
They
party.
did turn away.
And they ended up turning around because maybe for whatever
It was
reason.
like a party of 12 waving one as they ran in the line queue.
Yeah, it was odd. And then they all like ran away waving it. So it was really weird.
It was weird.
So because I remember that Dana and Hector had said something about your party. So I guess that is a nice trade-off too. Because it used to be
I mean, it feels very much like parent swap, like, I don't know if everybody's familiar with that, but it gives the same demeanor as one of you waits and one of you comes up and then we swap out.
Okay. It all makes sense. It's going to be an adjustment. Wrapping everyone's head around it is a little different.
And they're not going to separate a parent and a child. A child will not be given the standalone.
And if for some reason somebody tries, then you just remind them this is a child. We can't, like, a child is able to stand in line, but we're not making a child sit out of a ride.
Well, and when we received our pass the first time, they specifically said, "Hey, don't make your little person wait in line alone." I mean, they voiced that. So
good. Oh,
that was my concern. Like, Joshua would be willing to kind of sit at the exit and he would play on his phone. But if I were to call him and say, okay, I'm up at the exit, he would reject my call and never answer it.
No, I definitely think that it's not good to separate a child from a parent or a guardian or a caregiver. I think Karen had another one. What if nobody in the group can stand in line, which is a real thing that can happen. And I think Jim had a good, if you're in a party and no one in the group can, then you answer the question, no, we don't have anyone in our group who is able to stand in the lines, and then they will take care of that accordingly. I think in that case, everyone would have their own individual pass anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and Jim's saying that's when you get the one that indicates the time, and the ride op just puts the next time on there.
Yeah. Any questions about rides?
Well, I will say for those who, with Flash Pass, we get Sky Striker on there now, one time per visit.
Yeah. And Lobster's on Flash Pass.
Two on Max Force.
And then I think did some of the kiddie rides get maximum heights, new minimum heights? Or is it minimum on the kiddies?
On Lobster, it may have gone up by yourself, like to 42 without an adult. I think it was 36 before. I'm not 100% on there.
A little.
Another change too, if you happen to get like for whatever reason a ride breaks down while you're in line, they give you a skip the line pass for those. It lists on it that you cannot use it on Max Force or Wrath. I did hear them tell somebody the other day, though, since Wrath isn't open, they said Max Force and Sky Striker still, but
Okay.
but in the card itself, it says that you can't use it on Max Force or Wrath if you get to skip the line. I'm assuming if you get one for that ride specifically, when you're in line for that ride, that they'll give you one that would let you back on that ride. But if it's on something else, like we were on X Flight the other day, and then got one, and that's the limitation on it.
Are those now dated, or are they dated for like the specific day? Like when they used to
Let
be
me go
on.
look. I think I still have one. Let me go look at it. Hang on.
This is
Please
interesting.
stand by.
Oh, Jim, thank you. We have moderator Jim on the beat. There were kitties that did receive minimum height requirements where they used to have, so the really little ones used to just have a requirement that the child could sit unassisted, and now they do have minimum height requirements.
I can assure you that we did put a child on there who could sit unassisted that was very small.
So no more 9-month-old baby on the log ride.
On the log.
That's ridiculous. I'm taking my baby.
I did.
Babies are very stretchy. Any questions about rides other than when does Wrath open? Because
I know.
So the pass says not valid on Max Force or Wrath of Rakshasa or any upcharge attraction, but it also says it's valid for 2024 and 2025 season only.
okay.
On
I
any
think I have an antique one I
operating day.
found, like
Yeah.
in an old backpack.
I just thought it's funny that they included Wrath but didn't fix the date on it. It just says 2024 and 2025.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right, what else we have?
Well, let's see. What do we have? Entertainment. We have spring shows in full swing, which was nice. They kicked off opening day, which we typically don't have.
Yeah. They even when we had the food tasting, jumped on
Yeah, we've
that.
seen two
We had
previews.
it last year, but last year was the first year.
Okay. And
Because I remember it being freezing and watching them.
triple play 42. Little parades here and there. Those are fun. Having the backwards parade is kind of fun. The one that goes to hometown square.
Yeah, from the show standpoint, I've only actually seen the two parades just in passing. It wasn't I even planned to attend. I was all of a sudden I'm like, oh, parade's coming. Okay,
there's a
let's stop
parade.
and let's watch. And then I've seen Mix It Up. I've yet to get over to Honky Tonk Hangout.
I've actually seen both. I feel like I normally am missing a show. I saw both. I enjoy both. New faces and old faces. A lot of talent. They've really
Big
put a lot.
fan of some of the throwback songs and Mix It Up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're so much fun, and they adjust and interact with the audience. So especially if you have littles, it's great to bring them to these shows. It's nice because you don't have to get them to sit in a theater. It's just streetmosphere. So just walking up, grab a bite to eat, sit down, enjoy it, or stand up, dance along. They're really quick. They're fun. Now, Honky Tonk is fun. It's a really good one.
Yeah, just
They're
I need
campy in the
I need
best
to get over there to see it.
way. And these are just our spring shows. So these are just like it's almost like a little appetizer for when we get
You know when the spring show goes to?
Vita made that big chart.
I think Vita's chart that she had, I want to say things are out there through June 6th. I know Vita is on here, so if you remember what your date was, Vita, just throw it in the chat.
Because usually then end of June, is that when we transition into
the summer show?
Summer shows?
June 6th is what
Thanks,
her
Vita.
schedule is out there.
Thank
you,
you,
Vita.
Vita.
And Big T comments, yeah, he likes that they moved. They like that they moved, mix it up, and that is a good point because it
Yeah.
was pretty
Oh, wait.
disruptive to that panel.
They did take the parking spot for your
I
your
know.
food truck.
Yeah, we have to have a word about that. I need a park survey.
But it makes
They're
sense
not
because it was
sending me.
wasted space. They had a little, where Brent's truck used to sit.
They're not sending me surveys anymore because they keep getting back these like 8-page dissertations about the truck.
Well, back in the day, and I know Brent remembers this. I don't know how many of you guys remember this. That food truck used to move.
Yeah,
And that's actually how Brent and I met in the park. It was
that was
having
the
this
most exciting thing about visiting. It was like, where is it? And then you'd find it, and then I ran, and there was Bob, and he was running, and I was running, and we met, and it was just like,
And they also used to have chocolate covered bacon on it.
oh,
Oh yeah, it used to have fun. It was the original quesadilla place.
Yep.
They had mac and cheese and a bread cone.
Now we're back to food.
good stuff.
Any questions about the shows? What shows have you gone to? What have your favorites been?
And if you've not seen them, definitely take the time. Stop
They're
by.
just fun,
See?
sweet, and it's not a big commitment. It's not like you're going in for a 45-minute show or one I sat through yesterday or Sunday, 2 hours and a half. Not at the park, but they're just fun. It's just a fun little breakup of the day.
Hey, Brent, you see the comment on the screen?
I see it. I see it. I was leaving that part off, James. That was private.
What happens at Six Flags stays at Six Flags.
James was just jealous he wasn't there to be the pickle in the middle.
Oh, this just took a
Junkies
turn.
off the rails.
Oh no,
My wife might be watching this. Quiet.
PG,
Notice I said pickle.
PG.
Right, and then
Brent loves pickles.
I guess we jump to retail.
Somebody was arguing about the fudge. The discounts work on the fudge. I tried it. And there's no like buy two, get it's just priced what it is. So it was delicious. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I did.
There was
I
For
did
think
science,
there's
I had to try it out.
discrepancy on Tang Hulu also. So
Tang Hulu, do the discounts work on that one?
Only if you're buying individuals, because if
Okay.
you buy 2 or more, it's not advertised, but there is a discounted price. They used to have a sign, I was told that I don't know if they'll put a sign back out or not, but in prior years, if you bought 2 or 3, it was discounted, so you can't combine discounts. So if you're buying an individual one, you can use your discount. If you're buying multiples, they're already discounted, so you can't use your discount on them.
so be smart about your math. We'll just leave it there.
Yep. Yeah, so we've had people arguing a lot of times when you say a discount doesn't work. It is usually because there's some kind of deal and the register is going to give you the deal first, which isn't always, it just depends on, for most people, it's going to be better than your discount. If you have an older pass that has a bigger discount, it's not. So you have to be careful, do some of your own math. The exception to those kind of discounts would be on any kind of seasoned product. So your popcorn bucket, drink, if you're getting an extra bottle, what other baby bottle? Did we confirm if you can bring those baby bottles back?
I have not received the answer. I
Okay.
did ask. I know there was a question, some checking with the POS system that had to be done.
Another fun discount that we have discovered this year for people who may not have season passes is if you use your Cash App card to pay, you will receive 15% off. And my kids all have Cash App cards, so they were pretty excited about that. My son did buy something this week that he would have gotten a discount on with his pass, and it did not take an additional 15% with the Cash App card. But it's an option for especially a lot of young people that use that as their method of payment.
That's a nice bonus. And you can do you have to have the card, or is there like an app that you can pay with for, or a cash app? But you can pay like
Cash App gives you like a debit card, and from the visuals that I've seen in the park, I think you actually have to use like the Cash App card. But I would assume that if you have a digital version of your Cash App card available, that would probably also work.
wonderful. Yeah, so like it helps. It's something, right? So we know. Oh, back to things you can't. Popcorn bucket or popcorn refills are not discounted this year. We did confirm that.
Yeah, it's
So-
basically anything that is the seasonal
Seasonal.
things. A drink bottle, popcorn buckets,
Popcorn refill.
popcorn refill.
So it's $2. Or you can use a snack credit if you have one, or a meal credit if you have one. I don't know why you would. I'm so sorry.
Uh-oh.
I get all of my son's FaceTimes to my computer, and I don't want them. As far as retail, I saw a lot of different bubble wands. You can get a Bugs Bunny or a Tweety bubble wand. No word yet if they'll interact with anything. I did see a lot of more Looney Tunes stuff out. A lot of Fright Fest still out.
A lot of new pins this year.
Oh, where
Yeah,
did you
there's
see
some-
new pins? I didn't see new pins.
We had flags up front, I think it was.
Yeah, I think got flags right up front, right by the entrance of the park.
Some of them are really big.
Yeah,
Oh,
some of those pins are huge. Like they're not
They're like
going
magnet size.
yeah.
For those of you who are massive cup junkies, where's my cup?
Oh,
They have
yeah, that was
Stanley
super
style
cool.
cups this year. Oh, there's one.
Laura just ran this down here, so it's got the Six Flags logo on it.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we are loving these.
There's
They're
another
cute.
one in Trudy's, or not Trudy, Coaster
There's
Candy.
actually two different. There's the purple that Bob's got. There's this coral color. There's a light pink, and then there's a blue that's kind of like a robin's egg blue. We found them in the. Sorry, I know the old names. Victory Lane. There we go. I'd have called it Carousel. And flags up front. And these are great. We drive millions of miles to get to the park every week. And so on my way home, I chose to fill my faux Stanley with ice and sweet tea. And I got up in the morning and my ice was still valid. And then I took my cup to work for 12 hours and my ice was still valid. Not all there, but still ice.
Yeah, and these are
$29.99
basically
on those, right?
the same size as the Stanley, because I have my Stanley right here.
Yeah.
They are basically
Let's see.
same.
$29.99. Yep.
Before any kind of discount. So that's much cheaper than a big Stanley.
And I got so many compliments on this from people. They're like, that is so cute.
Aw, I should get one.
They also have some cute little cups in Victory Lane that look like gummy bears, and they're soft silicone. And they would be great for little people if you happen to forget your cup or something. I mean, they have a straw. I don't think they're spill proof, but they're soft. And if your kid chucks it out of the wagon, isn't going to break. So, and they're very cute.
Zippers like all over the place, and I think they are really good. That's a good option, even if you are you want to pour like a little bit of some water or something in there. I think that it's much easier than the bigger.
Yeah. My plan is to bring my big cup, scan my bottle, and pour my cold drink into the cup that will keep it that way. Because my bottle, I can just clasp onto my backpack. I don't actually have to carry that. And the whatever this company, the Stanley company, whatever, they make a fun little purse thing that you can wear over your shoulder for these.
That is
And
brilliant.
they hold your stick.
That's something I have to buy when I go back. Brilliant.
And for the guys out there, I want to say it was in the flag shop, like back while they had some that were more manly looking.
Yeah, they had a black one and purple one.
I think dark purple and maybe brown.
And I know there was one that was black. Yeah, that were.
It just had like a Six Flags logo type thing on it. It wasn't all
Pretty.
pretty. And then Gary says here, he's speaking of pins, he saw in
By the
flags or ride
register.
pins by the register.
So Karen, could you use those to fill with ice water? Not from a food location. What you could do is ask for a cup of ice and then fill in a water bottle filler. Am I correct, Bob? They won't
Yes.
fill those. Okay.
Right. They will not allow you to fill anything that doesn't say 2025 on it. So either purple or green bottles. So you can ask for the cups of ice, and then almost every bathroom has the fillers for the bottles. And Dana did a great post that highlighted where the various locations are around the park.
And if you're not from around our area, Lake County actually has really fine tasting water. I know sometimes people get weirded out by those because they don't know, like, different places have different. I mean, you go down to the mouse's house and his water tastes swampy. Let's be real. But our water actually does taste pretty good. So it's not a downgrade. It's the same water you're going to get out of the drink machines.
So if you plan ahead and you buy one of those Stanley things that makes the ice that fits in the cup that would stay, you would have ice in that cup all day because it's like the whole shape of the cup.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess, before we forget, and this kind of
You have
ties
to ask for a
into
million
retail, we now have the new rewards program that rolled out.
Hi. Okay, let me.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I just seen I'm assuming you guys all had it too. An email came out about
Got it today.
today.
And it says the new rewards program, and you can go check in the benefits area of the app to see your benefits.
I don't think that update yet is in place on the app, though. I've still have not seen it.
Yeah, I didn't know if they meant just like literally under ticket benefits. Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Because what's it? You get rewarded 2 visits, 4 visits, and then 6? Something along those lines?
I didn't read today's email closely, but the last I saw, there was you got more for 2 visits, and then you got another tier at 4 visits. But in a given month.
Right. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if, and I'm assuming it's going to work the way it's worded on our Diamond Elite VIPs with the 50% off. It says you're going to get an extra 20 on top.
That's
one transaction.
That's
the thing. It's one transaction.
Well, one transaction if I buy everything in the store.
Right. At one time. He's got to plan accordingly when you're going to use that.
I'm going to need a truck at Cartoon Cabin.
That's me one cheap visit to Starbucks for me.
Yeah, that could still be $100 purchase for you at Starbucks.
Yep. Dream big.
Well.
Anybody else? Anything on rewards program? I know one of the things that seeing, comments from the posts that have been in the group is everyone feels that, it's almost, some people are feeling it's replacing the perks on that come with your season pass, but it's nothing to do with it. This is just the rewards program. You're no longer earning points. Your points are still there. You can still use them on limited things. Just don't try using it on the small Dippin' Dots, because we do not have a small Dippin' Dots at our park, so you won't be able to use it on those. But
you can get ices.
You can get
churros, and we're saving ours to get a tube for the lazy river when it's warm out.
Wait for the points.
Yeah, we're just talking that there's very limited things, that you can use your points on. You're not earning any more points. However, with that said, I kind of took a look at like my points from this weekend in the actual portal itself. It showed I got 50 points for my visit. So
they they gave everybody an extra bring a friend when they switched it over too. So it's not like you didn't get anything.
Right.
All good things come to an end eventually.
And like they weren't very functional
No.
past that. Even the first year, you had to it toggled between the register didn't accept it and never took it off. And then there was that period where the register took it off, but then didn't take it out of your account. And then it was you could redeem points for it, but then if you already redeemed it, then
You could never use it again.
you could never use. So like
They took the points.
yeah, they took the points. So I mean, I just got to the point where I just kept using them to see if they had fixed it yet. And I'm like, oh, I just threw away another 5,000 points. Oh, well. So I think I like the challenges. For me, I love the challenge of swipe my card 4 times, go in and get that extra bring a friend. I think that's the hunt. The hunt is more thrilling than the
Oh,
point.
absolutely.
Well,
They just need visiting game. Fun.
Well, and one thing that there was some confusion about is not it doesn't start until now. Like the last 3 weekends, they don't count in
No.
your member in your
May.
benefit. So
Only
just
May
so
visits.
nobody's not walking in there going, "Oh, well, where's my freebies?" Like that. You're just starting.
The
Right,
most you
and-
could have is 2 visits towards your 4 right now.
Got it.
And the
Yeah, and I
reward is
think-
in the following month, right?
Yeah, Jim
right,
is
it'd be available in June. That reward will be available to use in June.
yeah. And for most people, we don't think that the 20 like if you get we don't think the 20% stacks, but for most people who only have a 15% discount, what it said, like, did we get an answer on that? Because it says an extra.
Right, that's why I'm thinking we might. I don't have an answer on that at the moment, but
There's
I
no
know-
way they're
I
doing
know
that.
I know a person I can get the answer from.
Yeah.
It's a one-time transaction. I mean, maybe you can.
Remember, do you all remember? And I think it was back when we still had the paper coupons. There was one that said it was one day you could go and your discount equaled your age. It was like
everything
a one-day
was
thing.
free.
It was so cool because we were like, who's the oldest person I know who can come buy all the merch for the year? And then I think that it was maybe 2 years. In the second year, they had a limit for like up to 65 or something, like
Yeah.
whatever it was, there was a limit because you someone found a 99.
Oh, the turnstiles look like Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah.
I mean, and it was a
Paint
one-time
yourself with the
transaction.
movie. Why don't you?
I just remember like the person I brought was with my family. It was a one-time transaction, but we each had one of those things. So it was like, okay, where are we going to the next place? It was kind of a cool thing. I wish I still had one of those old coupon books because there were some wild coupons. Vita remembers. Anything? What else do I mean? We're actually zipping through this compared to what we
We
used
are
to.
for having a lot to talk about. We're doing fine.
I
there is
mean-
one thing go ahead.
Well,
before
just going through, like we can see a lot of landscaping and a lot of cosmetic work has been done and is being done in the park. I know it's essentially the middle of the park's a construction site still, so it's really hard to see the whole vision. But seeing how things opened up, I know the first day was wild and crazy with the entrance, but we really haven't seen. I think we have one poster observed. He's been going it open. Is that the line is sucked in by 11:30 now. It's not like you're not waiting on Grand Avenue. And there's
Yeah, I mean, if you're going and you don't want to wait in a line, go after they open. I mean, really.
I mean, and that was my strategy the first day. Was I'm like, we're just going to sit in the car and wait for this to suck in. It did not. But it was a fluke. We've actually seen that happen similar a few years ago, I think to 2018. Yes, concrete for midway replacement. Yes, over asphalt.
I took
How
a
do we
call
like
with-
the new entry, the way that that's set up? How do we like that with the missing ticket taker area? It's very open up there now.
Yeah, it is. And it's actually really nice because I recall walking in, and a lot of times, like, if you're not one of us and you're just a typical guest, you walk in and then you've got to come up with your game plan. And there wasn't a lot of space between the ticket scan and the
the people
reflection
taking
pool
the
where everyone's
photos.
taking
Yeah.
pictures. It's nice to have now, let's figure out what we're doing area in between.
No, it was great this weekend when there was a lot of school people leaving, and they have large school groups sitting up there, and there's space now. You're not in somebody's marching band.
If you are bringing a group, I have two things. One is for people who are bringing a group. Don't say, let's all meet by the reflection pool. A great place to meet. I saw a group that was smart. They said, let's meet over by the Max Force exit, because that was kind of off the beaten path. Meeting in Hometown Square is a great place to meet. Saying that you want to meet over by the bathrooms. Everyone's by those. It's going to be wild if you go in on a May afternoon. Just know if it's 4:30, 5:30, there's nowhere to walk up there. My other thing, if you're listening from the park, I told Brent this. I have an idea for you. When you have all these people, I think you need to print a barcoded wristband for groups of
Amen.
teenagers. And
That
I
was a
think
great
it needs
idea.
to link back to their person. So if they are sitting on Raging Bull with a bucket of chicken tendies and they get caught, it's a scan and you know who their person is. Just a thought. It would be nice to have that accountability because we're about to get in. Sometimes they get a little wild when you're taking in the field trips. And that's what we're going to see in all of these. We're going to see the band kids on the Saturdays, the cheer and dance on the Sundays, and all of the eighth graders in the whole Midwest on every other day.
Really
Speaking
quick,
of printed things, we've had a couple of people ask if there would be printed maps. Do we know if there will be printed maps?
Get them from guest
There's some in
relations.
the
Is what
guest
I've been told.
relations. You have to ask for them.
Yeah. And guest relations is working out of in the mornings and through most of the day. They are working out of the Flash Pass, the old former Flash Pass building. But the Ride Accessibility Center or the Ride Information Center remains by the carousel. So guest
during. Oh,
go ahead. No,
And they did
don't.
add porta potties to the parking lot to offset the fact that you don't have that bathroom over there anymore.
You asked, they listened.
Yes.
During this call, during the ride section, I did take a phone call. Did we mention and give props to the revitalization of all of the different elements of decor, like on Batman?
We didn't.
No.
Yeah,
Batman
that
has
is
had
Good
its
call out, Brent.
Batman had it. Both Batman and Dark Knight had their cues restored to the storytelling.
The fans on, the cop car, the whole thing, the theme music, the audio, everything is working, it seems, on those.
It was like being back in 1992 when you were like on that staircase waiting.
And I wrote it. I wrote Batman for the first time in 20 years.
I did the same. Well, not in 20 years,
So
but
props to the park.
in many years.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some theming go up with people who have very good cameras that have very good zooms. Going up on Wrath. It's so much is getting cleaned up and very excited to see where this goes. As we're going through adjustments, we have to look at just no one's letting this rot. So it's great.
And
Can I also just say tulips?
Tulips, lots of tulips.
They're beautiful.
I'm having fun going through the stores, and I went through 3 stores and took pictures and posted them on the group just for fun. And I'm going to do probably the Max Force store and then be done with it. But anyway, these photos are coming out beautifully because the way the stores are stocked, the way the product is faced. I'm not doing any of that. These stores are in pristine, perfect, presentable condition, and everything is like framed for me. It's great. Just kind of props to the park for that. Just keeping everything looking so sorted and nice and not messy, and it's great.
Yeah. I do like that there are different lines. It almost like you can see different lines of product taking shape. I didn't yet get my tracksuit.
We know someone who did.
One of us in here has the tracksuit. She's been pretty quiet though.
They have some Looney Tunes monochrome bucket hats and
Wonder Woman, that's all I have to say.
I just think that someday we're all going to come walking down the way going towards a show or something in those tracksuits, and it would be
We'll have to film a music video that day.
and it would have to be slow motion.
It would need to be during Fright Fest because those things are warm.
Oh,
Or we can get like the animal print onesies and it look like a scene from Lion King where we're coming across the savannah.
tracksuit, and that will be our coaster challenge team.
No.
Hopefully it'll be a cold day.
Well, and speaking of coasters, just going back to Wrath, I know, pretty much everyone's been there, with our group. But what do you guys think of having a coaster smack dab in the middle of the park?
So
Kind of in the way.
I do see where they've put, I love that they've made, sorry. Okay. I love that they've made places where you can peek so we don't have to just put cameras over the top. There's actually places that if you haven't peeked yet, you can get a really good look if you go over in the county fair food court around where the bar is that isn't open yet. There's almost like there's an area where you can peek there. It's on purpose. And
Also from the kids area, from my first aid, the
yeah,
kids ride area.
that's a good place. And then over walking into Southwest, as you're all the way on the right, walking up the ramp, there's a little area where you can see. So
It's kind of cool how it looks like it touches it looks like it's in the whole park. That ride, it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
You can get a couple good shots from Lobster's queue line too.
Yeah. And
It's open now.
Lobster. Yeah, we don't have much left to open as far as rides that aren't water rides. Ride the Lobster, yeah.
Yep.
Best views. And if you're lucky, you can go on, because you can see it from, what did we, Bob, like 5 different coasters?
Yeah.
Kind of
Yep.
intertwine or interact with it. So you might actually, if it's running, you can actually run while you're up on a coaster, which is kind of cool.
Be great to see the first one that captures, with all the coasters in view of Wrath, like get all the trains from the various coasters in the same shot.
Oh, that would be so, like, we're gonna need somebody mathematical to say what the odds would be of that.
Kirk, are you still here? What are the odds?
He's in a pizza
Mathematician
coma.
that you are. Yeah, if you didn't eat too much pizza and you pass that on the couch.
Yeah, Jim says that the water feature at X Flight, there is some blue tubing, but we don't know. As we were looking at that, I know they had to do a lot of draining.
That tubing is not new. All the fittings around it are all old corroded fittings, and the blue's actually faded. I got a good look at it this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, and it's
So-
not, if you look carefully, it's not, you can see where the feed for the water feature for X Flight was, and that part's not connected at all. But maybe it's just because they had to drain so much.
Maybe that's the wizard water smell.
Don't unleash it.
Don't unleash that
I
yet.
did say we have good water in Lake County. That is not what I'm talking about. We have good drinking water. It's Lake Michigan water. It's fine. It tastes good. All right. We're whipping around.
Yeah, we're there. And there's one thing I do want to bring up, and I should have brought this up at the top of the show, and it's just kind of something I want to throw out there to. I'm seeing this more with our newer members joining the group. When I'm making posts, or if Sarah is making a post, and we are stating a new policy, a new procedure, basically we're bringing you some park information. We're not making that stuff up. Okay, we're getting that
Nor
from
we
sources at the park that
supporting
we are
it.
passing that on. So we're not. There's quite a few who are trying to argue with us, saying that no, we're wrong. We're not wrong. It is coming directly from the park.
Yeah.
So this group is all about facts and correct information. There's other groups out there that it's just all rumor mill all over the place. We kind of pride ourselves on the facts. So when you do see us stating a new policy, we're passing that on. That is kind of our job, our duty as being media to the park.
And if we have a question on policy, we do go right to official park channels and ask that question and make sure that we have the correct information. Even right now, I've seen Bob write down some questions, and we actually have an internal thread that we keep of questions that observations we make from comments or we make from experiences. But I feel like some of it is new, and we love the comments, like the threads. This does not mean that you can't have a comment thread that's about how you think things should be, because that's like half of what I write. That's fun discussion. But as far as like when it's policy, it's policy. And I feel like we have to go back to COVID when we said we don't, what was it? Was it masking that people?
Yes, it
Like,
was constant the mask.
It is the policy. We're not going to say if it should or shouldn't. It is. So what are you going to do? And that's how some of these are. So, but we love the creative threads where we talk about things that would be cool, things that would be better. What kind of seasoning should go on the bland food? Or, what kind of barcode should be on wristbands?
And the park reads this. So when you're making suggestions, sometimes they see it. It may happen. It may go, yeah, that it's not happening. Bye.
Yeah. And it's also like, if you have an experience that's not consistent with something that we're stating, it's sometimes if we're asking questions of follow-up, we're trying to understand where the inconsistency happened so we can understand, because there's always different things to understand. So that's really helpful too. If you're like, hey, in my experience, this happened. And I think overall we like to keep it light. We like to keep it enjoying the park and professional, and knowing that no two seasons are exactly the same. So we're excited with what 2025 will bring. The sky did not fall between 2024 and 2025. We just saw some changes.
Yeah, and don't forget, coming up in August, we have our 5th Junkies picnic. 5 years already. Can you believe that? This will be the 5th year. So that'll be coming up on August 17th. So if you need the code to purchase tickets or more information, there's a pinned post on it. If you need the promo code to make the ticket purchase, just message any of us on the team. We can provide that to you.
If you've never gone, it's not just and we can't guarantee anything because we get so many surprises. But we sign up, as any other group does. We sign up for a picnic, which includes a set time in the picnic grove, which is really if you like old school Marriott's Great America, that's where you want to hang out. Like that's kind of that old feel. And a nice meal with what is it usually? Fried chicken and hot dogs, you know, your typical
Yep.
picnic fare.
Aunt Martha's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Martha's.
it's your only place you can get your Aunt Martha's chicken, which is seasoned properly. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. And what happens is it becomes character dining. Bugs cannot, I mean, he's hosting us, he shows up. And there's usually someone from the park comes and gives a presentation and gives us, sometimes we get new information, sometimes there's cool giveaways, like Anne got one of what was the
It was
show
one of the kinetic signs. One of the
One of,
signs
like,
from kinetic.
the signs
That was on the light pole.
Yeah, so and then others there have been other surprises, like past couple years we've had a raffle of we had some really cool things.
Well, raffle they gave us PR was nice enough to give us a few of like skip the line like passes to get on a few of the attractions.
Yeah.
We gave those away. We had an extra clue to with Wrath this past picnic.
We had Ringmaster year 1.
We had
Yep. We had costume and choreography.
Yeah, do a little bit talking about them. We got a little backstory all on.
We got a Sassy Sunday one year with Ride Ops. That was a strike. Was that before strike? That was a couple of years ago. We had 4 strikes for Sky Striker.
Right, the 4 strikes with the.
Oh yeah.
We've had some great dessert, like the one year they surprised us with this humongous dessert buffet.
Yeah. So there's lots of surprises. It's fun to just get together. There's nothing more just really pleasant than sitting down and having a meal with people, even if it's with a couple hundred people. We usually do a limited edition picnic pin and hand that out to the first so many people. So it's a great time.
And if you have your Junkies pin, it's a good place to catch us.
Right. For those that say you never see any of us in the park, we're guaranteed to be in this one spot for at least 2 hours. So
yeah.
And then we usually at the end we take a huge group photo, which we've had to move into a larger space now to do that because of the attendance numbers.
Yeah. And we don't get I love that the park hosts the codes. We can't post the code publicly. That's why we say just message, or you can put a comment there that you could tag admin or say, can I have a code? We can't publish it, and we would hope that no one else would publish it. That's just part of the contract that Bob signs with the picnic. They don't want people using the code. They don't want it out in the public for each event, but we don't like get any kind of kickback or anything. We just enjoy having that time with members and hope as many people as possible can come.
Yeah, so we hope to see you there, and I know we're kind of going long here. I do want to just one more time bring up, and Laura actually suggests I just bring this up again. I don't have my drink bottle in front of me to demonstrate this, but if you are not a fan of those bottles with the
Brent is running.
Brent is running. We have found, and I'm going with Yeti here again. Hashtag not sponsored by Yeti. Yeti is what I actually had in my cabinet to try this, but the 20-ounce Yeti lid will fit on the purple bottles, and you can purchase them off of Amazon or Dick's Sporting Goods, or I know that Bass Pro has them, but Brent's got
different colors so we could identify whose cup it was.
And Hector did try multiple lids from our house in different brands, and the 20-ounce lid did fit.
Okay.
Yep.
So the great thing with like what Brent's showing you here, and he kind of froze up on us, it is pressure fit. So you're not, when you're filling up, you're not worried about screwing on that top to make sure you've got it on right. You're just literally just pushing down on it Now, Hector did try the handles that used to come with the membership drink bottles. They fit, but the second you set the bottle down, the handle just kind of drops out on you.
I want to look for like an off-market sleeve, like drink holder, and maybe see if I could line up a way to just cut out where the barcode is.
I wonder if we won't see those though, because if you notice, the drink bottle sleeves are not available in the park right now. So maybe they're intentionally rebranding that to be able to show our barcode.
Yeah, that would be nice to even just have, although something plastic at the bottom would make the drink even hotter. But
well,
yeah, I like having that layer of protection because I carry my cup on my backpack. I like to have something extra.
Well, the other challenge too right now is there are 2 different versions of the 2025 drink bottle out there. There's the clear
which
one.
not every park has. As it was described to us, there's the new one and there's the good one. Not every park has a choice. Not every stand in our park has a choice, but we do have a choice. The one that Brent is showing is the one that we've been used to. It's a softer plastic. You can actually, it's opaque. The other one, which would not fit the 20 ounce, I don't think that would fit the 20 ounce. It
doesn't. We actually tried it on because my mom had the other one. We tried it. It doesn't fit.
The other one is a harder plastic. It's a solid white with like a coaster design on it, but it's brittle. So if it gets dropped, it shatters.
Yeah. So kudos to Six Flags for recognizing that issue and fixing it before our park opened.
Kudos to our park, because I don't think St. Louis has a choice, and I've not heard of other parks that have a choice. I'm sure somebody else does, but we do have a choice, which is nice. Yeah, just pulling out the cup out of the holder to scan it is fine. They will fit in an older one if you have an older sleeve for it, but you do have to pull it out. I'm wondering if I could get a sleeve that had a handle too. That would
just think of all the money they could make, because now everyone would have to buy new Fright Fest ones, new summer ones.
Oh, I'm sure that's top of mind. Oh, Vita saw 3. Yeah, they are so at first I thought I wanted one of the new ones because I thought they looked really cool. They looked a little like maybe they'd keep the drink cooler. I was like, but I've seen so many pictures online where they are unforgiving. One drop and they're done. And they are not, it's not a free, there's no free replacement for these. I am sure that there's something that guest relations can do, but it's not free.
No, I'm just crossing my fingers for next season that they give you the bottle or the paper cup option, because right now, paper cup all the way.
Yeah, and if you forget your cup, I'm one that used to forget my cup and I'd be like, oh, well, I just use my snack for a drink. Other than maybe icy, all the drinks have been taken off of the snack menu. So like, it's not like you can just use a snack for a drink. They don't have the little snack icon anymore. Neither does the water or the juice.
I guess if you have points, you can redeem points for a soda.
I have a lot of those. If it still works that you can do duplicates, though, I'll have to try that.
That's true. That is true.
I think I've already done it. I think I
redeemed several like slushies, and like it told me last time I used it, said I was using 1 of 2. So I mean, it looks like it's letting you.
I've got like 5 of 7 kitty Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, so do I. That I'll never get to redeem.
All right. Well, anybody else out there have any questions? I know that, we try to keep these short, but every so often.
This is the big one.
This is the big one. When we do these going forward, they'll be smaller, reviewing things, or it's a change here, change there that we feel that we need to kind of talk about. If there's any topics you would like us to talk about, leave them in the comments. Shoot us a message. If it's worthwhile, we can definitely put together a stream and
You
kind
never did the Bob origin story.
Never got to that. Maybe in the off season.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you. I think I lost. No, Brent already pulled him. I was like, did Brent leave? Am I gonna have to figure out how to end this stream now? It's been so long. But yeah, thank you everyone. See us around the park. Say hi. If you need Junkie Pin, find any of us. We always have them. So see you guys. Thanks.